I woke up this morning, like many of you, to the graphic images coming out of the state of Minnesota. Looting and rioting and setting fires, all in response to the indifference that was shown to a brother, to George Floyd, whose life was taken for no apparent reason. While I don't condone what's happening with looting and rioting and setting fires, what I do condone is the symphony of voices that are calling for change. I believe that our sisters and brothers are calling for a revolution of the heart of who we are as a society. It's been far too long that the scourge of racism and prejudice and discrimination and inequality has belabored our global community. And it's time, now more than ever, to do something about it. I realize that this video is not the answer, but for me, it provides an opportunity to allow my voice to join the hymn of fraternity that is rooted in solidarity that so many people are singing in this moment as we look for ways to eradicate the sin of racism from our global community. As we look for ways to bring equality to everyone, man, woman, child, regardless of the color of their skin. It's time for us as a society to dive into the reality that we are all created equal and that everyone deserves respect and that everyone's inherent dignity needs to be respected. It's time for us to call on those who can enact change, to do it, to not just realize the truth of what they might need to say or what they might need to do, but to step out of the paralyzing moment in their lives to speak the truth that needs to be spoken so that change can indeed happen. And equality can be found among all of us as siblings and as citizens. Each one of us in our own way has the responsibility to testify to love, to be the voice of the voiceless, and to call for change that is so necessary. Coupled with what's going on in the community of Minnesota, yesterday in my own little community here in Mundelein, Illinois, an 18-year-old was gunned down for no apparent reason other than a disagreement with a friend. It rattled me to the core to think that less than a mile from where I live, something like that could happen. And I had to check my privilege in that moment, thinking how that could happen in my own community. But it did. And it causes me to want to even more give voice to the many voices that are silenced, who for decades have been calling for an end to discrimination and racism and gun violence. We all have to do our part. But in a big way, all of us, in our families, among our friends, need to testify to God's unqualified love. When God looks at us, he doesn't see the color of our skin. He doesn't see our gender. He doesn't see our sins. He sees us as his beloved and challenges us to live in that belovedness as we love one another as he loves us. That's our challenge today and every day, to testify to the love of the Father and to call those who struggle with living in that realization, who struggle with testifying to love or who completely turned their back on that call, to find their way back to that reality. May all of us, in small ways today and in big ways as the Spirit moves us, seek ways to testify to the love of God our Father, and to share that love generously with everyone we meet, and to breathe into their life respect and dignity and true love, rooted in the one who is love himself. All the colors of the rainbow, all the voices of the wind, every dream that reaches out to find where love begins, every word of every story, every star in every sky, every corner of creation lives to testify. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. From the mountains to the valleys, from the rivers to the seas, every hand that reaches out, every hand that reaches out to offer peace, every simple act of mercy, every step to kingdom come, all the hope in every heart will speak what love has done. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. I'll be a witness in the silences when words are not enough. With every breath I take, I will give thanks to God above. For as long as I shall live, I will testify to love. For as long as I shall live,